YouTubers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having the best day ever. Thank you so much for clicking on my YouTube channel today and for being here and being part of this conversation. I really appreciate your time and I appreciate you clicking on this video. And we have, dear Lord, a messy one today. So, I log on to Twitter this morning and I see that there was a lot of drama that happened at the Oscars last night, which is not really the event that I would assume that a lot of drama would happen at. I feel like it's a very, prestigious, classy, if you will, event. No, it was, there was drama there last night, and also they had fucking Amy Schumer hosting, who is one of the most unfunny people ever. Point blank period of all time. Amy Schumer is the worst. And also, so I've only watched certain clips from the Oscars that this has to do with the video, don't worry, that we're going to be talking about today. But for example, there was a couple moments during the Oscars where Amy Schumer was making jokes and they were so uncomfortably cringy. She asked someone at a stage, she referred to someone's wife as like a seat filler, and if you watch the Oscars you know how cringy it was, and it was just, there are so many. And she also was like, Don't Look Up is nominated for an Oscar. If that obviously goes to show that they don't look up the reviews of movies. She's just one of, this, I could do an entire video on how much I detest Amy Schumer. I just think she, listen, we're not here to do that today. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Ethan responding to Will Smith hitting or slapping or punching the host of the night, of that award. And Ethan is getting very much so backlash online, and it is really messy. So we're just immediately going to go into his tweets here. So this is what he said. So it was, Chris Rock that Will Smith had slapped. If you haven't seen the Oscars, basically, Chris Rock, who was presenting that specific award, was basically making running commentary jokes of the crowd. And he makes a joke towards Will Smith's wife, and she doesn't take it well, and Will Smith goes up and slaps him, or punches him, or however people are, don't know how to class what they, saw him do. For me, it looked like he slapped him. For other people, it says they look like he punched him, and it has basically erupted online. A lot of people have different opinions about it, and Ethan was very quick to voice his opinion on this, like everyone else was on Twitter. However, people are not liking what Ethan has had to say. So Ethan said, Will Smith just a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Probably should deal with whatever trauma he has with her instead of punching Chris Rock in the face for an extremely tame joke. He needs to be escorted out of the Oscars. L. So basically saying that he's, taking the L. So immediately we have more to go through here. I do want to give my opinion on this. As much as I love Ethan, I completely think this tweet is not in the best taste. Basically saying that Will Smith is a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Now, the reason that I just don't like this tweet, as much as I like Ethan and respect what he has to say, I just think it's like, H3 are like any other podcast that'll come on and talk, and I think if we start pinpointing oh, he's humiliating her, or he's making fun of her, or whatever, it's like I feel like we will start narrowing down more and more what people feel comfortable about sharing on podcast forms or long form content, because it can kind of be used against them now. And H3 are people who do great sit down long podcasts, and it's great to hear their conversations, and there could be a lot of things that have happened within H3 that can be deemed as humiliating. Let's look at frenemies, and it's, I don't know, my opinion on this is I don't think, coming from someone who has a podcast, this is the best take to have. So again, this is the first tweet. Will Smith just a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Probably should deal with whatever trauma he has with her instead of punching Chris Rock in the face for an extremely tame joke. He needs to be escorted out of the Oscars. And then we will go on to the next ones. But also what I do just want to say about this was, it was very clear that the joke wasn't in the best favor. I'm not going to repeat it now, but it very clearly was something that, is it Jada Smith, I think? Yeah, Jada Smith, did not reciprocate well to. Comedy is subjective and stuff, but it is to be said that the joke that was made about Jada Smith was not really appropriate in any way. That's my personal opinion on the joke. you know, Jada Smith has came out recently with some things that she's been dealing with, and the joke kind of leans into them, and it's just not my place, even though I feel comfortable repeating it. And listen, I understand comedy, and I understand, you know, so many different things that can be interpreted in different ways, and, you know, sometimes people find things funny that others don't. But this was a joke that made Jada Smith not happy. At a really big event, a really big televised, I don't agree with Will Smith going up there and slapping him. I don't agree with him going up punching him, whatever you think he did. I don't agree with that. But all I'm saying is I don't necessarily like the take that Ethan's doing about, number one, focusing on the humiliating he's dealing with trauma from like a Facebook show, and then the second about like saying about how it's an extremely tame joke, because just in my opinion, it's not a joke that was made about Ethan, it was a joke that was made about Jada Smith. Again, I don't stand by Will Smith going up and punching him, whatever, and it's just my take on it. Alright, anyway, so he goes on to say, Will Smith won and got a standing ovation. I'm in awe the show went on like nothing happened. Will Smith punched a comedian for doing his job. He's a celebrity in the front row of the Oscars where it's normal to be roasted. Bad take or not, defending Will equals brain rot. Alright, okay, so my take on this is that I agree with this one a lot more than the last one. In terms of these events, this is something that is quite common, that the person who is hosting will kind of roast the audience. This happened with like Ricky Gervais, is that how you say his name? You know, Ellen DeGeneres, very unfunnily, did it in the past. And it is something that does happen. And again, my take on this is that I completely agree with Ethan on this tweet where, you know, you're going to these award shows and you're probably going to be roasted if you're seen in like the TV rows. I agree with this tweet. The tweet that I don't agree with Ethan is this one where it's about, you know, he should be focusing on his wife, you know, humiliating him on the Facebook show, and an extremely tame joke, because I just think, as much as I love Ethan, I don't like this tweet. But this one I completely agree with, because it really is, you know, the show went on like nothing happened, which is when Will Smith goes up and, you know, slaps the shit out of him, and that's literally what the other guy was like, oh my god, he just slapped the shit out of me. That is, you know, it is insane that that just went on and what happened. But also, I don't understand how any of us are having a hierarchy about, I can't believe Will Smith got to go up and win an award after, you know, punching the person who was presenting it. Let's stop acting like most people who are in the Oscars audience aren't abusers. It's Hollywood. Most of them are disgusting people. Let's talk about the amount of people who have allegations against them that win all these fucking awards at the Oscars. Like, I'm not focusing on Ethan's tweet here when I say this, but the amount of tweets I saw last night, they were like, I can't believe the Oscars are allowing this behavior to happen, where he went up and hit him, and then he was allowed to win the award. Yeah, and a lot of people who have allegations against them, have like cases against them, have went up and presented, have went up and like, Hollywood is fucking disgusting. Are we seeing this? Like, it's disgusting, it's twisted, it's hierarchy, it's dangerous, and it's like, anyway, but yes, I completely agree with Ethan. When you're a celebrity, you're in the front row, front couple rows of the Oscars, you are going to get roasted. That is what's going to happen. So I agree with this one. Again, I just didn't like this one. And this is also the tweet that most people have the issue with, so rather than the other one. And I think it's very apparent by 7,000 likes on this one, and then on this one we have like 33k. So anyway, then we go on. Donna, who we love, said Chris Rock should press charges. That was so unprofessional of Will Smith to hit a fellow performer who's just doing what comedian hosts do, and then to accept his award with an acceptance speech about how he's the vessel of peace and love. It ruined the awards for me. So that's what Donna said, and then someone responded and said, this is a bad take, so in relation to Ethan. All the times you complain about Keemstar making fun of your wife, you can't bring yourself to empathize with Will right now. Seriously, come on Ethan, you're better than this. So basically about the fact that Will Smith got all worked up and did that because his wife was being made fun of at the Oscars, which is a really big event. So, oh, you're seeing that I was listening to Madonna, let's go past that. So Ethan is actually trending on Twitter with a lot of tweets, and so whenever I go, we have his tweets at the top, and he is getting a lot of, quote, retweets, with people being, you know, pissed off and angry. So we just have a lot of people, like, I'm just gonna read out a couple of these top tweets. Will Smith will never be a walking L, no matter what shit goes down involving his wife. One of the most successful actors out there. Someone said, I've always wanted a ratio, Ethan Klein. Someone said, who the fuck cares about what Ethan Klein has to say? Who does Ethan Klein think he is? Like, there is literally not a good response to these tweets whatsoever. Someone said, I agree you gotta accept comedians are there to make jokes, which is the point that I think we can all agree on. But you also gotta accept that if you make enough jokes about people's families, one of them might slap you. So then we go on and we have people basically continuing to talk about their opinion with this, and there was a tweet down here that I saw, and there's just like a lot of viral tweets right now about Ethan going viral because of this, because people are like pissed off with his take on it. So basically people are like, he's just defending his wife about Will Smith, and a lot of people are relating it back to, like, they want Ethan to see the point of view that basically Will Smith acted out towards Chris Rock because he was fed up with jokes being made about his wife. And a lot of people, like that other one, and I saw, like, I was seeing on like Frenemies Room and like the Spilling Tea pages and stuff, they were, and a couple of Reddits were talking about, like, there have been so many situations where Keemstar has been doing that to Hila, and it's like, you know, at a certain stage, like, can you see, like, whenever your wife is getting all these jokes made about you, whenever someone as in Keemstar has been doing this about your wife, like, eventually you will snap. And again, that doesn't mean that Ethan would ever want to punch Keemstar, even though I feel like he would. But it's like, you know what I mean? It's just different takes on it. So I want to know your opinion on it. Whenever I'm, like, ending off this, like, my take on it is, I agree with Ethan whenever he says that comedians are there to make jokes, especially when it's a really big event and they've probably prepared for it, they have a script, they know who's sitting everywhere, they're doing it. I agree with that. My other thing, on the flip side of that, is if someone is continuously making jokes or making jokes that cut a bit too deep, even again, it's subjective, about, you know, your wife, and the media have been making them for quite some time, you probably will get very fucking pissed off. And again, this is me saying that whenever I'm not defending Will Smith for going up and slapping Chris Rock. I don't think it was right. I don't think he should have done it. And that's why I'm so, like, in the middle here. And it's just, I'm so conflicted seeing all, like, this backlash towards Ethan, because I'm, like, on one side, I'm like, all right, I agree with where Ethan's coming at, where it's like, comedians are there to make jokes, this is their job. But on the other side, I'm just kind of like, his other tweet is like talking about, like, you know, Will Smith has to, like, focus on, like, his wife humiliating him on the show, and it was a very tame joke. And it's like, I'm just so in the middle about it. So I want to know where you're at with it. You can be very one way or very other way, or you can kind of be where I'm at with it, where, you know, you're seeing all this backlash and you're like, I don't know where to, like, put myself in this, because I agree with one of his tweets and I don't agree with the other. So I'm, like, kind of in the middle. But I want to know where you're at with it. We can talk about it below. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today and clicking on my channel. And oh Lord, that was just a taste of Twitter being an absolute mess today. So I will see you in my next one. Thank you for being here. And again, all love, and I will see you. Bye. Mwah.